Breaking. We interrupt your normally scheduled programming because we have to. Me and my brother got an interview running right now as we speak on the Vlad TV channel. But we got to do something that has never been done. While one interview is running, we got to do a completely separate interview because there is a war that broke out in Iran, and there is nobody better to speak to about it than Sergeant Nicholas Irvin. Nick, what up, brother?
Hey, what's going on, brother? Hey, Soldier Boy don't have nothing on this right here, man. You know?
Soldier Boy, Boosie, 6ix9ine, none of them.
It's all good. It's all good.
Yeah, Nick, real talk. In the history of Vlad TV, I don't believe that this has ever been done.
That's crazy to me. And I've watched Vlad since many moons ago. You know? Before I joined the army. Or, yeah, definitely what I was in.
Yeah, that's crazy. I've never seen it done. Currently, you and I have an interview running, and we just had to bring you back on the platform because you offer a unique perspective that I don't think any guest on the platform can speak to in real world scenarios. I mean, your perspective comes from a place of experience. It comes from a place of been there, done that, and I can't wait to have this conversation. So, yeah, let's just talk about Operation Epic Fury. That's a hell of a name.
It is. That's our name. I know Israel has Roaring Lion. That's their name. It's still pretty, significant, but different. Yeah.
Yeah. Last time you and I spoke, I asked you specifically.
Definitely what I was in.
Did you? Yeah, that's crazy.
Oh my god. It's just so bad, dude. That match is so bad.
Did you think that this was going to happen? Did you think we were going to go to war with Iran? Mm-hmm. You didn't think so. You said you give it 3 to 6 months, if I remember correctly. If, by the time this thing airs, there is a strike. Ooh, but it definitely seems like we're gearing up for it.
I was waiting if we're going to do anything. 3 months to 6 months max. 3 months. I see something in 3 months. Yeah. Yes, sir. I believe 3 to 6 months. But then, after you had informed me on the, since 2003, we had that build in the Middle East since 2003. Then I was like, okay, been there, done that. I know what's about to happen. And like the day after the interview dropped, or the day we got done doing the interview, the next day, this when it popped off. I don't know if I'm like a bad omen at this point, but I don't know. But yeah, it was way sooner than I predicted. I gave it a few months.
Now, you know why I thought, that it was about to go down? And actually, if I can remember my words correctly, I was like, by the time that this interview airs, I wouldn't be surprised if the U.S., if it was a strike. I didn't realize at the time, I didn't think at the time that it was going to be the U.S. and Israel. Mm-hmm. But, if you watch the news, and it's always built up in media. They prep you for stuff like this. Yeah. They desensitize you, they get you ready. So I saw all of the warning signs like, this is, they're prepping us because we're about to strike. And it didn't surprise me at all, truth be told. Okay, before we get into Epic Fury, and I think that the last operation, I don't even know if it was 2 months ago. Operation Midnight Hammer, I think that's what it was called. Correct. Yeah. No. That was actually in Iran. Was it Operation Midnight Hammer in Venezuela?
Midnight Hammer. I'm sorry. I'm talking about the nuclear facility.
Yes. When we struck in Iran, allegedly. And President Trump, he said we completely obliterated Iran's nuclear potential.
Exactly.
That was his words.
And that's what gets me too. It's like, if we completely obliterated something, and then fast forward a few months to today, or a few days ago, and it turns into Iran was like weeks away, days away before they were able to be like, almost untouchable when it came to the nuclear program. But I thought Midnight Hammer was completely like obliterating their nuclear program, and that's what got me. I'm like, that was a setup, a precursor to where we are today. And it was like, I don't know if it was to get the reaction of the American people, to see how we would react to, doing a top secret mission, Tom Cruise style, to hit this nuclear facility allegedly. It might have been a pile of dirt, a hole in the side of the mountain. There's one thing I do about bombs and mountains. You go back to Afghanistan, 2001, 2002. We bombed the shit out of Afghanistan. Back when we had Bin Laden, rest his soul, Dalton Fury, the Delta Force commander, who was on that operation. He really a note in my book, and yeah, if you read my book, you'll see Dalton Fury's endorsement in my book. And really great guy, rest his soul. But it's like, you can bomb, drop bombs on these people. But when you're like, embedded inside the mountain, deep underground, there's only so much you can do. And allegedly, Bin Laden got away. I don't know if that was the U.S. letting out away type deal for the war. I'll say that's my belief. I do believe that. And I know 2 Delta Force operators who won that operation, and they suspect the same suspect. They kind of let him get away. So that was how they pick somebody up. I don't know. I wasn't there. But I do know, having fought this war, you can drop bombs on these people. And it's like, it's tough over time. It's not like, pumping a mobile, pumping gas on these remotes with it, and setting on fire, blowing it up, whatever. This is different. These people are built different. They've been fighting this, war since before I was born. And they've been planning stuff since like the 1940s or 50s, for that matter, for situations just like this. Do I think we hit anything? I don't know. But I do know if you're smart about war, or you can have the paranoia that, hey, some countries might be after me, I'm going to do my stuff underground. All free on. And I think that's what Iran did. But do I think that the Operation Big Hammer, whatever you want to call it, do I think that obliterated their nuclear programs? I didn't think so from the get-go, but that's what everyone told us. And the first thing that, guys, I told you is the truth. That's the first thing that goes to war. I don't believe anything. I've been in combat 6 deployments, contracted. And when the numbers come out, if I were American, I'd be questionable about the numbers that come out. I've been on multiple operations where the news, I was sitting in the town hall one day. This happened a couple times. We would get done mission, I'd come back, 2 hours later, I'm at the town hall, eating breakfast, and I watched another unit did X, Y, and Z. This many people were killed, and we got this guy. Yeah, we got this guy, but the unit was long, the casualties were long, but it's being put out on Fox News and I'm like, oh shit, I was just on that mission. And I watched it multiple times.
That's so crazy. I really do want to highlight what you just said. The first casualty of war is true. Mm-hmm. I mean, that's such a deep statement when you think about it. And you haven't been over there, witnessed firsthand, participated in it, and you look up from the town hall, and you see almost immediately that the truth is distorted. Yeah. That's a completely different from what you know that happened. Yeah. And I think in large part, that's what we're dealing with here. Again, allegedly, a month or 2 ago, the nuclear potential of Iran was completely obliterated. But here we are, fast forward 6 weeks later, we're at war with them, and it is specifically because they have weapons of mass destruction. Yeah. What's right? What are we supposed to believe? I'll tell you what we believe. Looking back at 2003, before that, like 2002, 2001, 2002, going over with Iraq, they told us the same talking points. Anybody who remembers that, I used to study war. In middle school, I studied war. I used to still go to the library, like break in, still go to the library, just to read books about war. I got in trouble for it. And I've been studying stuff all the way through my adult life to today. I still study war. But the same talking points are being spewed out by our politics office. It's the same talking points that got me to believe that I was going to go help out in Iraq. And I don't believe that now. I've gotten older. I've been there, done that. At the time, I did have a lot of fun. It depends on what you classify as fun. I don't look at killing anymore as fun. To a degree, there were certain cases where, it was all right, but
without simply that war was one big lie. And I don't think the American people has enough time to like digest that and put the feet to the fire of our politicians in office and say, hey, you sold us on a lie and got thousands of people killed, over 1 million Iraqi civilians killed, and we haven't addressed that yet. And those same talking points that allow us to do that is happening right now.
No, you're absolutely right. And the truth of the matter is, we sit home, and all we have to go on is the news cycle, your social media feed, and you don't know what to do. You really don't. If you are pro-war, then of course you're going to latch on to the idea that America is defending not just itself, but the world at large from one of the greatest nuclear threats of our era.
You know what's happening? North Korea.
Absolutely.
Just a few other countries that have nukes, but we don't touch them. We just seem to be going after the same brown people. The same brown people in the desert. We keep going after them. A few other countries that have nukes or potentially have nukes. But we don't go after them. We go after these people who live in the desert somewhere in the Middle East under this guise that, oh, they're about to have nukes. Like we talked about last time. BB, Netanyahu has been talking about this for like 20 plus years. Or whatever, since the 90s, we've been talking about it. They've been weeks away, days away. We obliterated it. It's completely set back to the Stone Age. And then a couple of weeks later, it's like, oh, they're about to do it again. And we're weeks away from it. It's the same talking point. And I'm like, we just keep going after the same people. And is it really for our best interest? Is it for our freedom? Or is it for somebody else's?
You know, and that's the million dollar question. We don't know what's behind this.
Oh, I do.
We don't know. Go ahead.
I think we all know what's behind it. And it starts with the letter I, ends with the letter L.
You're right.
Is ISIS, Ra, and LL. Is not L. I don't know.
I hear you loud and clear, bro.
Yeah, I think they have APAC. I don't know. I think it's way too much pool and way too many strings being pulled on our politicians. But they're another actors at this point. They pay actors. And their producer is in another country in the Middle East somewhere. And they get paid to go out here and act like politicians. Act like they have us on our best interest. They don't care about us, the viewer. They care about the producer. They care about making him happy. That way they can get another production. Another production means another paycheck. We don't have politicians, we have actors.
That's well said, Nick. It really is. And when you really sit back and think about what you said, it's totally plausible. It's totally legal. You know, because why are we again in a war? You know, what is the benefit to America, to the American people, to be? And it just doesn't seem like there's any, especially when we were told that Iraq was neutralized. Matter of fact, to be more exact, it was obliterated. So why are we here? But, you know, I want to go back to February 28th, which is all of 10 days ago. The decapitation stroke. At 1:45 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, the U.S. and India simultaneously launched a massive joint air campaign on Iran. Over 2,000 targets were hit that day. But I really want to focus on the Supreme Leader, Ali Khamenei, if I'm saying it correctly, Ali Khamenei, the Supreme Leader of Iran, was killed.
Yep.
And the reason I want to talk about him specifically, and I really want you to sit with this. In that region, the Supreme Leader is above the president. It's above a prime minister. It's above a king. It is literally the second in command to God.
Yep.
He sits right under God.
It's like the Pope.
It's like the Pope.
Yeah.
First, I want to get your thoughts on us taking him out. But I want you to think about it. The man's 86 years old.
Exactly.
How much time do you have?
Yeah. I look at it like, I break it down in like a few ways. I guess you could say, one, what threat was he directly to the U.S. people? You know? Two, I think about, is the U.S., are we still involved in active assassinations? The last time I checked, I don't think we're, you know, like heavy in that game of assassinating foreign leaders. But then to call it not a regime change, but you want to kill the regime leader and then have say-so and who the new supreme leader is going to be, sounds a lot like regime change to me, just like they are not calling it a war, except for, you know, on Wednesdays and Thursdays when it is a war. Other than that, it's like a targeted campaign. You know, it's the equivalent of calling 9/11. It was just targeted attacks. It was like not an act of war. Our Pearl Harbor, it was just targeted attacks. Those are all acts of war. But when we do it, oh, it's just like strategic attacks, targeted attacks. It's not war. Three, like you said, yes, he was 86 years old. How much more time did he have? You know, it's like lying on dialysis, traveling through the mountains of Afghanistan to Bora and make it to Pakistan, all while on dialysis. Then you do the raid and you don't find a dialysis machine. I don't know. I do know that I don't believe anything's being put out. And I think that this is all about regime change, but not our benefit. And not just regime change. I feel that there's a certain country that kind of wants to control the entire Middle East. And if you look at the wars we've been fighting since I can remember, it's all about the Middle East. It's always been. And whose interests are we fighting for? It's the American people. If it truly, really was, then go back to 2003. You don't got to go back that far. 2003. Saddam Hussein, but it's a mass destruction. Like, what threat did that really pose against us, the American people? All we go there and find out, oh, it wasn't anything like that. We don't know what we saw on Midnight Hammer, whatever that operation was. We don't know what they really hit. No one was there. You got presented some satellite imagery of some holes in the ground. Those same satellite images back in 2003 where Colin Powell was talking about, oh, these are missiles of mustard gas and X, Y, whatever the fuck he was trying to say it was, WMD, turned out to be nothing. It was all made up. So if they're willing to lie to those same people, and it's not the same people, it's the same entity that's allowed to lie to you then and lie to you before that, the warmongers or the people who are all about war, it's like, one, those same people who are all about war, you ain't fighting shit. You never fought shit. You're too much a coward to get off your fucking mom's couch, stop eating Cheetos, get in shape, go put bullets in people. You don't want to do that because those bullets fly two ways. And that's the quickest way to find out a coward. Is somebody who runs their mouth about, oh, we're all about war. I'm gonna go, we should go do this, we should go do this. No, it's in French. It isn't we. Nigga, it's I. You won't go do shit. You'll sit there behind your little computer screen and talk about how much you love war, but you never had to go see your friend's head blown off. You never had to taste your friend's blood. I've had to do that. I've had to stick fingers in bullet holes. I've had to swim neck deep in water and taste my best friend to just save my life. I've tasted his blood. And I feel a lot of fucking people for it. Those people don't have to live with that. They don't have the dreams at night. They don't have the issues that we have, the guys who've been there, done that. So yeah, fuck a warmonger. I don't believe that. If I ever did become president, which I have no desire to, you better believe it's gonna be like George Washington, but I'm black. I want to be there on the front lines. I want to support if I'm gonna support you, there's no better way to support the truth than sign that dotted line and go play volleyball with some bullets. Nobody wants to fucking do that. So yeah, I don't care about those people are cowards. There's a recruitment station in every hood. Go to high school. Go to any lower income high school in America. You'll find a recruiter there. They're not hard to find. But yeah, I don't like those people. Am I proud of what I've done? I don't know. I'm proud of certain things I've done, but not everything. But yeah, those same people who sold me that lie are doing the same thing today. Why would they change that? You never trust it. Once they show you who they are, believe that shit. Believe it. They don't change up. Our government has never went to rehab, never went to go seek help from anybody else. They don't even seek help from us, the American people who vote. Those who do vote. They don't care. So why keep believing the game?
Damn, Nick. I mean, you are spitting straight facts like that. You are spitting today. What you're saying is so real and it's so powerful. And I really want people to just try to digest your words, not just zone in on some quick highlighted moments, but what you're saying is like tasting the blood of somebody who minutes ago saved your life.
Yeah.
That's crazy. I mean, wow. Just powerful words, man. Powerful words. You know, you spoke about regime change. Mm-hmm. And let's not get this twisted. According to polls, 81% of Iranians didn't like that regime. 81% of Iranians. According to the polls.
The polls. And here's why I've never in my life been polled on anything. I don't know anybody who's been polled on anything. These polls, I think, come from with inside the news organizations who spew the propaganda. These polls, I mean, who are they polling? You mean to tell me Fox News, CNN, Newsmax, whoever, went over to Iran to go poll some people who speak a completely different language? Where are they getting the polls from? I've never been polled. Did they poll the Iraqis and the Afghans too? I've never seen a poll in my life. These are all internal organizations. They're doing internal shit to fucking feed propaganda. These polls aren't real. And the same person who was saying to believe polls told you not to believe the polls last election cycle. When somebody else was correct, somebody else was favored to win. The same person who's telling you, and the people who are telling you to believe these polls, we go back to Hillary Clinton. When she was like, you won't win. And the polls were astronomical. There was no chance Trump could win. Those same polls that fucked up early are the same polls we're telling you right now that 81% of X, Y, and Z gonna happen. And what the polls ain't nothing more than bullshit to make you believe something that ain't true. Polls aren't real. I've never been told a day in my life. My parents, they've never been told a day, my grandparents, never been told a day in their life. I don't know anybody who's being told the American people, the Iranian people. I mean, the statistics show, like, if my whole inner circle and my outer circle, I don't know anybody, unless say one person got polled. I mean, who told you? One person out of 1,000 people, to me, seems like bullshit. And they say the American people feel this way. I don't feel a fucking thing about what your polls say. And 9 times out of 10, I'm completely opposite. These polls are deception. It's propaganda. It's television. I'm gonna tell your vision what to believe. That way when I do something, you feel like you're not the outcast of whatever that poll says. Nobody ever wants to be the outcast.
No, you're right. You know, internationally speaking, I mean, obviously, I've never been polled. I don't even know one person who has been.
Exactly. So where are these polls coming from? Who are they polling? It ain't us. It ain't us. It damn sure ain't us.
Okay, what's your thoughts on this, then, Nick? Iran, they're considered one of the leading state sponsors of terrorism. This is, we're speaking, again, what's out there in the media and being pushed on us. Iran itself, you know, they're considered to be backing all of the major groups and proxies, from Hezbollah to Hamas, Palestinian, Islamic Jihad. I mean, we can go on. Do you think that's true, or is that just hyperbole?
I think it may be a mix of both. And what I mean by that, I mean, if you want to look at, like, the biggest contributor to the terrorism, we gotta, I'm being like 100% honest, we gotta stop looking at ourselves as the good guy. Out of our 250 plus years of existence, we only haven't seen war for like 16 years. We've got over 200 plus years of continuous war, being involved in war, killing innocent children, women, men, people who have nothing to do with nothing. But we go there and bomb the fuck out of them. You'll go send guys like me who didn't know at the time what we were doing to go kill a bunch of people. Thousands of them as a unit. Dozens and dozens and dozens as individuals. So who's the real contributor to, like, we've killed more people, more innocent civilians than all those terrorist organizations you just mentioned combined. If you add up all the casualties from these terrorist organizations compared to the civilians that we call it always the cost of war. So that makes it okay? I think the definition has been skewed in such a way to make people believe that, oh, these people, because they say Allah Akbar, and the way they look, those are the bad guys. Those are the bad guys. It's the magician's greatest trick. Well, not the greatest trick, it's the easiest trick. I'm gonna keep telling you, look over here, and behind my back, I'm setting up everything I need to set up to fool you again. And we've been fooled. Like I said, 250 years plus of existence as a nation, United States, we had like 14 to 16 of those years, we haven't seen war. That's fucked up. Like, why are we so obsessed with war? Why are we so obsessed with violence?
You know, Nick, one of the most profound things that you just said was we have to stop looking at ourselves as the good guy.
Yeah. Yep.
So profound. And I remember when you and I first started to have these conversations, you would speak about the young Nick signing up, going to war. And you would always have this blanket statement, the bad guys, the bad guys, the bad, because that's what they sell us. Everybody who's not us is the bad guys.
The people who sent us over there at one point to go do bad things to bad people, as soon as that job is done, you know, they act like Pontius Pilate and wash their hands of the whole thing and they're done with it. That's how I feel.
Yeah. I mean, you touched a great point. You said they sent us over there to do bad things to bad people. And I just remember that, you know, I remember that very distinctly because I would speak to you, and it just, if they can get you to believe that, these guys are bad guys, then I can tell you to do whatever I want you to do. And you have no conscience about it.
Exactly.
I'm keeping America safe.
Yep.
Because those are the bad guys.
Yep.
Without thinking about their lives, their families, their cause, and the fact that they look at us the same exact way that we look at them.
Yep.
We're the bad guys.
Yep. And it's like, I look at it like, I'm gonna say like Hitler or whatever. I mean, you kind of could. He convinces an entire group of people to do bad things to good people, or whatever. And then there's one side who believes that, there's another side who believes that, you know, the opposite. I don't know that. I just think we have our definition of what bad is skewed, and I think that we've been pushed so far as a nation to, you know, back before we had social media, we was just a news station, and our parents and my parents, and back then you got the radio, y'all believed what, because that's all it was. You had no way of like back checking or verifying. You couldn't talk to someone in Iran. You couldn't talk to someone to Israel. I've been to Israel, and I may or may not have been to Iran once or twice while in the military, and Pakistan, you know. But what I do know is that the news that they get is completely different from the news that we get.
There you go.
It's completely different, and that was like the biggest shock to me was actually not to stop believing that they were bad guys, but getting out my bubble of that military mindset of, hey, these guys are bad, these guys are terrorists, you know, they're not really people, and that's what made it easier for me to kill them. But having got out that and traveled the world and done stuff on the outside and got a chance to like witness culture, witness the news, and observe different things, I'm like, man, this is so ass backwards. And I've been to countries that look a hell of a lot. I've been to countries where you've been told that, oh, it's the shithole country, but I've been there, and it's the exact opposite. It's the exact opposite. I'm like, man, I think there's way too many people who've been brainwashed the same way I was. So no one can get mad at me for being the way I used to be. I was under that same brainwashing spell, that broadcast, that casting of that big spell through television. I've been under that same spell, so you can't get mad at me because I can't get mad at no one else other than the people who like constantly want violence or war who've never seen it. Yeah, fuck you. You don't know what that's like. But everybody else, I think it takes a lot more getting outside that bubble. But that's one of the most uncomfortable things to do, is to get outside your own bubble and experience life the way it actually really is. We get so caught up on our own made-up reality. To shadow that would be detrimental to our own sanity. Why would your brain doesn't work like that? It's all about comfort. So to break that cycle of comfortability, to be comfortable and believe this, whatever the fuck you believe, whether it's a lie or not, it makes you comfortable. To shadow that on your own, your brain's constantly fighting that. You're gonna fight yourself. Nobody wants to wake up and go outside and sleep in a ditch for fucking 2 weeks. No, when you got a bed 2 feet away, why would you do that? It's the same type of logic. Nobody wants to break their own bubble and step outside and see life the way it really is. Life can be a beautiful thing if we experience it, but a lot of us are too caught up on an LCD screen and what a talking shoulder-in-head person says on the fucking TV.
You know, Nick, you step foot in Israel, Iran, and some of these countries that when you watch their news feed is completely different than ours.
Mm-hmm.
But you don't even need to leave U.S. soil. All you have to do is watch CNN, CNBC, CNN, then turn to Fox. Go read the New York Times. I mean, the messages that we're getting, it's all about what you believe and what you've been conditioned to believe. You can get the messages that you want to hear.
Exactly. Yep.
It's almost like the dailies. Look, I'm gonna go over here because this is what I'm addicted to.
And it strokes my own ego, it strokes my own belief.
There you go.
And that's the problem I think with news. News isn't news. It isn't, news, entertainment, weather, and sports. It isn't none of that shit. It's a large broadcast spread to the north, south, east, and west. That's what the news is, north, east, west, and south. It's a wide broadcast. And depending on what side of that compass that you lie on, is the one you're gonna go to. Because that one fits me. I don't like the south. I don't like the north. I don't like this. I don't like the west because I don't like the way that they say things, and it's not what I believe. But what you believe may be fucking wrong. And what you believe, not only not just wrong, what you believe is probably made up anyway. There's a lot of shit that people do, and I've been in the same boat. I probably still am in certain cases. There's a lot of things that we do and believe to be right isn't right. It just makes us feel good because if you found out that it was wrong after this long belief that you were right, it would fuck us up.
Absolutely. And people are so close-minded.
Yeah.
In this country, my God. We will stand on our side of the fence. And God forbid somebody has an open view.
Right?
God forbid if somebody doesn't believe exactly what you believe. The way we have become so divided in our own country, it's insanity to me.
It's the divided states of America. It's the divided states of America.
Yep.
There's no united. Since my lifetime, I have not seen united, except for one day. And whether that was a real, whatever you want, I don't want to get into that, but on 9/11, that was like the most united, I think, we've all been as a country. I wasn't here for World War II, Pearl Harbor, wasn't here for it. But I do know in my lifetime, and I've been around for a few moons, but that was the only time I think we've ever been united. It's gotten so bad now, you can't even say, like, do I believe in Christmas? No, I don't celebrate it, but if someone says it to me, I don't get fucking offended. Have Merry Christmas, whatever. But people make it a political thing. You can't even with people happy this, without getting political. So we're divided.
We're completely divided. It doesn't matter what it is. From gender to Second Amendment to war, this is a divided country.
Yeah.
Let's bring this thing back around to Iran for 1 second. Iran, they took a hit, but it's not like they're going down without swinging. They launched something like 500 plus missiles and drones at Israel and even some of their Gulf partners. They sent missiles at the United Arab Emirates, Saudi Arabia, Qatar, Bahrain. What do you think that's about? Like, those are some of their Gulf partners.
I think it was all like to hurt us. Like, I don't think they were attacking those people directly. I think it was about attacking things that we may have had over there. Military bases, equipment, infrastructure, things of that nature. I don't think they were going after, like, their neighbors in that sense. I think they were going after us and the neighboring countries. And they hit us where it hurts, like where the oil's at. Once you fuck up that barrel, that oil, things that kind of messed up over here. You can shut down a bunch over here. Not just like gas prices. You can shut down certain routes of transportation, of goods and services.
No, you're absolutely right. The Iranian president, he's since apologized for striking his neighbors, but those strikes still continue nonetheless.
Exactly. It's not about killing them. It's about hurting us. Whatever we have over there, whether it be radar systems, missiles, military bases, troops, personnel, anything affiliated with the U.S., 100%. That's what it's all about.
I don't think those neighboring countries are, taking it kindly. Obviously it's a tactic. Iran wants to get at us, but they're still bombing your neighbors.
Yep.
People who would normally be there right by your side. So I got to answer the question. Who has our hands back right now?
Russia, China.
Yeah, okay. Where's Russia at?
Exactly.
And China has not said a peep.
Yeah, and I can't really give too many props. I'm not even props, but like, what help could Russia even really provide us or provide the Iranians when, like, they're fucked up with Zelensky? Whatever, Zelensky. Yeah, they can't even. It's been years since that war. And damn, Ukraine from Finland. Where's he from?
Where'd you say?
Zelensky. Well, Ukraine. Yeah, Ukraine. Damn, I was in Finland a couple years ago. I got my little too mixed up. Yeah, Ukraine. Like, he's having trouble with that. So you can't even really give like too much. I don't know. You can't get too much props to Russia. We have a hard time with them. So with Iran, I don't know who their allies would be at this point. I know. Take that back. I think their allies at this point, which may not seem like a lot, but depending on how you look at warfare, guerrilla warfare, conventional, unconventional, I think it's people here, people in other countries, people who sympathize with them, and just the whole Muslim culture as a whole. If you sympathize with that, that's why we have, what's going on in New York right now. So I think that those are their greatest allies at this point, is having people who have the same ideology and beliefs that they do, filtered around the world. Those are their biggest allies.
Yeah, but when you're at war, and you're taking a beating that it appears that they're taking, you would want real allies with real muscle, a lot of munitions, missiles.
That's a very conventional way of thinking about war. Very conventional. We fought in the Middle East for 20 years in Afghanistan. They didn't have all these rockets, missiles, drones. I didn't know about drones. Well, I knew about drones. We had them. But the way they're using them now, I know about that till a few years ago. Like the rest of America. You don't need much to sustain and win a war. You don't need much. Look at Vietnam. Vietnamese didn't have all these weapons and everything like that. It was strictly guerrilla warfare. A few IEDs here, a few vehicle IEDs here, a few shootings here, massacres. That's all you really need. I mean, we got airports being, evacuated for, bomb threats and things of that nature. It doesn't take much to shut down a country. It doesn't take much. So to win a war, you don't necessarily have to have ICBMs, nuclear missiles. You just have to have a few people who believe in the cause. Because we have them, and we know the doctrine.
No, Nick, this is why I love having these conversations with you. I love that you just check me, because I'm sure myself, like so many other people who have never been to war, we think about war in a very, very conventional way. And the fact that you're like, nah, that's a problem. You're thinking about it traditionally, conventionally. And, we can go back, like you said, to Vietnam. And you can talk about Afghanistan, where these people were outgunned. They didn't use the same tactics, but they caused a very big hurt on America. And to that point, you touched on briefly New York City. And obviously, this is my city. And, New York officials, they confirmed on Sunday that 2 devices that were recovered during protests over this war in Iran, they were actually IEDs.
Yeah. And what did we talk about, I would say last year and a half ago, I said this was going to come to our country. Now we're just going to have to sit back and wait for those sleeper cells or terror cells are, over here to do their thing. 100% believe it's going to happen. Within the next 2 years. Within the next 2 years, I'll say that. If I'm wrong, good. But I think in the next 2 years, we're going to feel terrorist attacks here. 100%. IEDs, shootings, and all these. I'm 100%. Like, and I think we're just getting started. This is like the intro. These are 18, 19-year-old kids who had enough, not brainwashed, I don't know what you want to call it, but they believe so much in the cause that they decide to go out and do it. When that entire demographic, that belief system, or not even entire, a few dozen, a majority, a little bit, decide to pick up arms and say, hey, what's going on? And my people is fucked up, and they start playing by your rules, that guerrilla warfare, we're fucked. Because we are going to be fucked. There's only so much you can do to prevent guerrilla warfare, but that involves you becoming a guerrilla too. And I don't think the average person wants to be that dirty and get down that dirty. No, because that means your life, it don't matter at that point. It's got to be for a greater cause. You got to take another going in there to die, get arrested, get shot, whatever. That don't matter. It's martyrdom. They want to go meet those, whatever they believe in. Whether it's 72 versions or $72 million in cash, I don't know. But whatever they believe is out there waiting for them, that has more power than it does here in this reality in this world. We're too caught up on the next fucking iPhone that's coming out. I got to be alive for that. I got to be alive for this next little thing. They don't mean shit. They don't think that. They don't think that way. We don't have that same ideology. We're willing to die for something that we believe in. If we did, our government would not be where it's at today. We wouldn't be having these problems. We would be able to rise up and say, hey, we're being controlled by a bunch of sick, weirdo pedophiles who run our country. If it was really about that life, but we're not as a whole. One, we're too divided. And what happens after the division comes conquering. We've already been conquered. We've lost as a people. There is no more we the people. No, we've already lost that. And the fact that we can keep winning by going to the voting polls and no, I mean shit. The same people are still the same people, it's the same system. They worship the same Baphomet, they worship the same system, the same market. We all have the market of the beast here in America, damn near. The market of the beast is continuing to play this system, this game. And we see it. We know it's fucked up. We know it's sitting right. You can go back, people getting taxed on tea like 2%, 3%. And they said, oh hell no. You can't go anywhere in America and not get, you get fart and get taxed. They tax us for fucking everything. We went to war about this shit not long ago. Relative to time. So, voting ain't gonna do shit. There's only one way to cure a forest. Trimming off the hedges don't work. And that's all we're doing.
Yeah, but I'm gonna tell you, Nick, it's an extremely scary thought. To think not only that a war can and will be fought on our U.S. soil, but it'll be done by individuals and they'll be labeled radicalized and they'll be labeled enemies of the state.
Our founding fathers were called terrorists. George Washington was a terrorist before he was who he was. We've all been radical. I'm not saying go out and be a radical individual. I'm not calling for that. I'm saying we've already lost. That's what I'm saying. Whether it's our government or another foreign interest, another foreign government with a lot of money to put in our pockets, or not our politicians' pockets, and then we launder that through a quote-unquote multi-million, hundreds of million dollar weapon sale. Same thing we did in Ukraine. But my belief is we've already fucking lost. Like there's only one way to come back, and like you said, and like I said, we're too comfortable as a people now. We're too complacent. We're too comfortable. All these other countries to go out there and do it. Why I'm just saying, like it's okay for us to go to another country and say, hey, I don't like your president, so I'm gonna kill a bunch of your people, and I want him to this person. I hand select. Like this shit has been going on since before I was born. It's okay for us to do it, but if any other country let us certain and say, hey, we don't like this going down, let's go do our thing. We'd be nice and active. Everybody would be up in arms, want to go fucking fight the next round person or slant-eyed person. I don't know. We'd be up in arms to go do it. Will we all be like this terrorists if somebody else came into our country and said, I don't like the way your government's operating. I want a regime change. I want government change. And us as American people decide to stand up for our own country and fight back. How would we view? Freedom fighters, terrorists, are logical thinkers.
That's right. You know, I pray it doesn't come to that. I do. But we are, you know, Nick.
Why do you pray that? Why do you pray that it never comes to that?
Nick, you've been to war. 99% of the American public hasn't. What you've seen, 99% of the American public has only seen on your screen. So the thought of it coming close to home, the thought of the idea that now the general public has to start participating, even if it's only participating in your thoughts, choosing, am I going to be on the front line? It's a scary thought. It is.
Those of us who believe and read the Bible know the great tribulation is going to come.
That's right.
I think that those who do believe in a higher power, Yeshua, Yahweh, we got to stop being scared of certain things. It's already been written. And if you believe in what the great book says, then there is nothing to fear, because for I am your God. And no weapon formed against you shall prosper. That is man-made, so there's nothing to fear. That's our ego that's keeping us separate from the Most High's will. For you to be afraid, for any of us to be afraid, goes against what the Most High says. And that goes against his will. But we all know, just like when Yeshua was in the garden, and he said, no, I don't want this. I don't want to get executed. I don't want to be put on the cross. But God will be done.
You know, Nick, I'm going to pivot with you. Is this the way you think now? Or is this that the man I'm speaking to a product of you being on the front line, you taking lives, you having your friends and brothers' blood spill before you? Did you go into those situations thinking as you just like it's God's will? Whatever's going to happen, it's written already. I have nothing to fear because this is bigger than any of us on planet Earth. Or is this the evolution of Nick and where you sit today?
I'd say it's a mix of both, to be honest. Like before every mission, I got over 500+ missions, combat operations, direct raids, active raids. Been shot at, I haven't shot, but shot at, RPG, mortared, whatever, IED. And I was praying before every mission. And this was back when I used to practice Christianity. I still worship and believe in the same Most High. I just don't classify as a Christian. We all know what I classify as, and that's what I classify. But I do think that there was a time in my life where I still
whatever, IED. And I would pray before every mission. And this was back when I used to practice Christianity. I still worship and believe in the same Most High. I just don't classify as a Christian. We all know what I classify as, and that's a Rastafari. But I do think that there was a time in my life where, and it still is, it's applicable today. I did feel that way, but I didn't fully understand it. I didn't fully understand it. And I think that switch for me happened when I was pinned down by an enemy sniper. And I was in a multi-9-hour-plus long gunfight. And there was a time in that gunfight, a couple of times, where I debated on, hey man, just stand up and get your head taken off so we could end all this right now. Being awake for 5 days straight, being in a firefight of my life. I debated it, but I think that was the first time I probably truly felt and heard the Most High. And because of who I was at that time and got out and the things that had happened, I put blame on the Most High that I shouldn't have put blame on. I wrestled with him. I was like Jacob before I came to real Israel. I was like him, wrestling with him for a while. And I went off and I tried to feed my ego and got into other stuff that I probably shouldn't have dabbled in. But I was trying to be rebellious. But at the end of the day, I had a huge wake-up call. I got spanked by God, the Most High. and put me back in my place and let me know that, no, there's only one true God. There's only one true. And that came when I was in my 30s. I'm still in my 30s, but it's an evolution of, you may think you understand something at one point, but it takes living and experiencing to actually understand and get it. And do I think I'm there yet? Of course not. Of course not. I think I'm going along the way and I'm learning along the way, but I'm not done this roller coaster ride yet. But it's an evolution. It is an evolution. 100%, yeah.
And that's the proper word to use, evolution. And I can assure you, Nick, most people have not evolved to where you're at. Most people have not evolved to the idea that their life is not their own. You've spoken to me on a couple of occasions, and I remember this vividly. It was one firefight you were in, and I believe you were in Iraq or Afghanistan. And you said you plucked off about 4 different guys. And the last guy looked to his left, looked to his right. He saw all of his comrades dropping. And he literally tossed down his weapon, dropped to his knees, and submitted to the idea, this is it. And I asked you about that. And your exact words to me was, they just believe it's God's will. And that is exactly what you're speaking about right now.
God, the last guy knew it was coming because he stopped and like squatted. He watched the guy next to him drop, this guy drop, and that was weird. Like, they never ran like that. Like 2 people maybe ran ever. But if they were in a group, you could hit a dude and they'd be like, watch him drop, and because they believe in Allah's will. If that's the will, it's gonna happen. So they didn't have fear.
I don't believe many people are where you're at, Nick. I don't believe many people.
Day is going fantastic.
I just got headshots tonight, bro. My day is going terrible. I just went to a WWE event in Charlotte a couple months ago. Oh shit! Oh, you fought with WWE? I ain't like when I was. You said I live close to Knox, Tennessee. Oh, okay, okay.
finger hurts, dude. My finger hurts.
Weak Mosky says what's God with the homie Krillin, nah Goku Yao Ming looking motherfucker hope your day is going.
You said I live close to Knox, Tennessee. Oh, okay, okay. No, look. You know what they say though. First 3 games is really just a warm up for real. Just a warm up for real. That shit ain't. I'm knee deep in that water. Situations that we've never done before. You know what I'm saying? And that's kind of what I'm trying to do. Hold on, let's low-key some bad shit in my neighborhood. Walking her dog? Hold on, I might gotta pause the stream. Since when it's bad shit in the neighborhood? Hold on, like she on my block. Hey, bro. Like, whoa, oh, it's springtime. It's springtime. All the baddies finna be out. All the bad bitches finna be out. Hey, I'm so easy. Her shit was fat. Hey, I'm finna go outside and be like, situations that we've never done before. You know what I'm saying? And that's kind of what I'm trying to do. Hold on, let's low-key some bad shit in my neighborhood. Walking her dog? Hold on, I might gotta pause the stream. Since when it's bad shit in the neighborhood? Hold on, like, you know what I'm saying? Because progress isn't always about making more money, getting more views, or, you know what I'm saying, numbers. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes progress, you got to really, like, you got to feel it in the inside. Because most times, chat, you're going to be getting progress before people...
This is provoking for a certain migrant group. Maybe they shouldn't be in Portugal. Maybe. That's just me. Yeah, then go home. Yeah, then leave. Exactly. And it's, no, they should keep doing that. They should. And again, these provocations will they will eventually get serious enough. Listen, if you want to sell your country out to invaders, that's fine, but I certainly don't think that should happen anywhere else.
If you don't know about my country, don't talk about my country. That's it.
What do you think about what President Trump's strategy is? You approve of what he's doing? Man, how about that?
Yeah, definitely. Thank you, Trump. Really, thank you. He was the only one. That he was great. That he did that. We
What
really
do you think
appreciate
about
it.
it? What do you say to these leftists who say that, you know, we shouldn't be involved in any other conflicts?
They don't actually believe that. They would be more than willing to get us involved in the benefit of Palestine. The leftist spaces have been co-opted.
Never leave the Middle East.
Attacking French military bases. Are they? Oh, yeah. I mean, this could be a good question. I'll listen to what this person's saying. And wait, I'm thinking the U.S. is confused by what you're saying. What's your question? Can you? Can you ask that in a different way? Because I'm not really sure exactly what you're asking. Yeah, I mean, this could be a good question. I'll listen to what this person's saying, and then we gotta look at some others. Video footage: Iranian one-way attack drone setting a French military. Oh, now they're attacking French military bases. Are they just like speedrunning martyrdom? Like they're just speedrunning. 1979. He was sitting in a nice French suburb. Yes, France. So the original Ayatollah Khomeini, before 1979, he was sitting in a nice French suburb. France should have executed him. That's what they should have done. They should have executed him before he ever went over there. Biggest fucking mistake they've made. So if it wasn't for France, we might not even have the Islamic regime to begin with. Might not even have to begin with. So what's this? Keep this open, but you know, right now there's not a lot happening. I'm not going to answer that. That's 3 best. Yeah, where's this happen yet? There are 3 best. I don't know, so it's hard to say. Japan, Korea, and Greece. Maybe Greece did this happen. Oh boy. Yeah, bro. Like honestly, like he did. He saved it. He did. I think nobody. The thing is that you wouldn't be able to call anything he said. Thank you. That's correct. And it's insane to me to think that, you know, in America, that we put every on Guantanamo Bay. Like it should already be there. This is 7 years. You're even gonna say, look at all this. It's almost like I've been right about everything. Oh man. I wonder how many more kids are gonna have to die until people realize that. I do. Sorry, sad third world countries. I know, man. I know it's very, very obnoxious, isn't it? So we had somebody. I'm so disappointed in the last individual. I'm gonna pull somebody else up, okay? You said you only pull up goofballs. That's it. See what he says. Anyways, well, I mean, I try. Right, goofballs. I try to pull up people. Let me guess why. Because there's a sheet of paper that says that. Good job, man. Seems that way too. Napoleon to a lot of people in Europe. Yeah, sure. Yeah. They're saying that the profile picture for the new Ayatollah is AI generated.
A military base or installation. That's why dozens and dozens of tourists have fled as it was set on fire.
the government is the enemy. Anybody representing the regime is the enemy. And it's another ban. And then talk shit. You're just gonna get banned. The drones that we saw. Here we go. It's on. So anyway, what is this here? IRGC, Bachelor Stress. Oh, this is one of the ones that we saw from earlier. Look at this. Uh-oh.
Continue to hear time, as you always have, from the representative from Iran and their friends on the council. You will continue to hear lies, as you will their strikes. Those aren't really.
What's the reason? You'll be instantly banned. How's this work? Why do you? Said multiple times. I think that they had expressed that they want to make nuclear weapons. They were not going to say. You don't really know what the context for that was. So okay, so what do you think you should do instead? This point. Yeah, why do you think that Iran will accept a diplomatic solution? Because I mean, diplomacy is you can be honoring you. It wasn't. You say something about that. Haven't tried to be diplomatic with Iran. How long? Thanks, Art. And like, make comment. Just work diplomacy because you know that any answer will either ask if you realize to be stupid or it's like you think we can have
mistake that I may like to correct those errors when they happen.
They need to take the best military bases. We will destroy an equivalent amount of property if you do not receive compensation. If we do not, yeah, it should never happen. And then you have more of these. Oh, also look, rather have this happen. Well, the real issue is as part of the package. Have this happen is that they're not even that rich, but for some reason, you know, people think it's okay. Oh, here's another one. This is Western Europe. Alfonso, a Portuguese man, sits on a Portuguese street and displays a Portuguese flag. He's attacked and threatened by Muslims and African invaders. Man, take a look at this.
Aqui é Portugal. Aqui mandam os portugueses. Estamos no Martins, onde estamos. Aqui mandam os portugueses. Estamos em Portugal. Aqui mandam os portugueses. Isto aqui pertence ao povo português. Eles querem nos expulsar.
And then anybody in this country literally right now. It's an issue. Yeah, I'm fully. Do you want to import a bunch? No, I'm asking you the question. I'm asking you the question. Do you want to live in that country? Like, I'm not asking you like what somebody told you. I'm asking you what your opinion is. So was that video not in Portugal then? Where was the video? I do not, and that's not the reality. The question. Who said that? That guy? No, I'm asking you the question. I'm asking you the question. Do you want to live in that country? Where was the video? I do not, and that's not the reality in Portugal. So was that video not in Portugal then? So I don't understand. I don't understand your point of view. So he says it's an impasse here, right? Most of support the guy in the video, right? Pull out this bullshit. No, the thing is, it was made in Portuguese street in Lisbon where white immigrants live, and where radical rights and consistently provoking migrants to feed the agenda. So you think it's, wait a minute, so you're saying that it's their fault that they were attacked by the migrants? That the flag was provoking them and they got mad? Is that how it works? And your position entirely? Yeah, I do. People in your country would be able to pull the flag and throw. Well, like yeah, you type that twice now. That's enough.
What would you say?
They don't believe it's God's will when it comes to their baby mama and paying child support. They don't believe it's God's will in no area of their life. So to underline, highlight, bold print that word evolution, most people are not that evolved in terms of their thinking as you're speaking right now.
Not to say that's a problem, because I mean, I'm still evolving, but I think that not acknowledging and understanding what that means is a huge step.